Good morning, and welcome everyone to the Creative Living Fellowship Sunday service. Please stand and join me and Kirsten as she leads us in our opening song, Holy, Holy Way. This is a call and response song. The words will be on the screen, but you can follow what she's leading us with.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Yes, thank you, Kirsten. Thank you. Yes. Good morning to everyone. My name is Deborah Covington, and I am your host. You may be seated. I am your host for today, and I want to welcome you all here. I don't see any first-time visitors. However, I do see two people who haven't been with us for many years. That would be Alexander and Lisa. So we welcome you back into our hearts again, and we're glad to see you again. Thank you for coming. I want to welcome all our online guests. For any of you that are first-time visitors, please let us know in the chat so that we can welcome you also into our community. And we want to thank you for being with us. All others, chat throughout the service so that we can acknowledge that your presence. Okay? So let's move on. I want to give you a reminder of who Creative Living Fellowship is. We are an independent religious science church, and we honor all paths that lead to truth. Our deepest intention here is to be a community of love, care, and connection that opens hearts, expands consciousness, and transforms lives. And we do that through the principles and practices of the science of mind and spirit. The Science of Mind is a new thought, ancient wisdom teaching that provides us with the tools for living our best possible lives. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, said, I live in the faith that there is a presence and power greater than I am that nurtures and supports me in ways I could not even imagine. Take those words into your heart, they're very powerful. So here's a bit about the lay of the land today in our service of what you can expect to experience. First, I want to acknowledge that our pre-service meditation was facilitated by Fran Peck, who is our practitioner as well as our animal chaplain. She is also sitting in high watch today, and that means she's in meditation and prayerful contemplation, holding a space for the perfect unfoldment of the service. Thank you, Fran, for your service today. Also, Reverend Mary Jane Hyde is serving as our practitioner of the day, and she will be offering our evocation. This will be followed by our congregant chant, The World. And most of you know that already, but for our newcomers, the words will be on the screen for you. And Kirsten will be leading us in that this morning too as well. We want to welcome back Kirsten as our musical inspiration. It's always wonderful to have you here. You bring such inspiration and support to this service, so thank you for your service to us too. After the chant, Mary Jane will be back up with the inspirational reading of the day. And so right now, I want to welcome up Mary Jane for our evocation.
Good morning. And so we're just going to breathe in and then let it go. As we breathe in, we're breathing in all the good qualities. Just imagine that we're breathing in all the qualities of God that we want to breathe in here today, because God is love, God is peace, harmony, joy, capital P power. God is an infinite knowledge, infinite flow. We see this. We see this presence of God as we look around. There's an abundance in nature. We see an abundance of flowers this spring. There's an abundance of leaves on the tree. So in this abundant world, we know that there is enough. There is enough. Even more than enough. And so in this knowing of the divine presence of God that is all around us, I know that energy that is God is expressing in, through, and as me. And that same energy of the divine is present within each person here, each person within the sound of my voice. There is nothing but God, and God is at the center of our being. And so the attributes of the divine that we wish to express, we call forth. And I call forth all the beautiful qualities that I can think of, which is love and peace, harmony, inclusivity, love, nurturing, caring, infinite flow, health, wealth, infinite intelligence. And those are the qualities that we will experience today in this service. I accept that for everyone here and everyone listening today, that they are spiritually fed through the inspired words of Reverend Jerry Troyer. They're spiritually fed through the workshop that follows by Reverend Jerry. And then we're fed through the music, the beautiful music. We're fed through fellowship and the love and the energy that is present here at CLF, that is an entity of itself. I am grateful. I'm grateful for this place. I'm grateful for CLF. I'm grateful to be a part of it. I'm grateful for its presence here in the community. I know that it is good. I know that it is God. And I know that all is in divine order. And so I let it go. And so it is.
The world is a place of great love for all. The world is a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. The world is a place of great peace. I am a place of great love for all. I am a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, I am a place of great peace. You are a place of great love for all. You are a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, you are a place of great peace. We are a place of great love for all. We are a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, we are a place of great peace. The world is a place of great peace.
So the inspirational reading is The Best Year of Your Life. Dream It, Plan It, Live It by Debbie Ford. Imagine waking up each morning with an excitement and passion that you haven't felt in years. Imagine going through each day enjoying every moment, feeling purposeful and fulfilled. This is what you can expect if you live each day, week, and month of this year to the fullest. If you can show up at each moment with the commitment to use all of your gifts, talents, and brilliance. Namaste.
Your dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows. In a dream it's just a vessel, you must follow where it goes. Trying to learn from what's behind you, never knowing what's in store. Makes each day a constant battle, just to stay between the shores. I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. Oh, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. So many times we stand aside and let the Lord steal the rain. What we put off to tomorrow come today. So many tears beside the shore and say you're satisfied. Choose to chance the rapids, get a dance tonight. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird on the wind. These waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if If I never try, oh, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. There's bound to be rough waters, and I know I'll take some falls. So if the good Lord is my captain, I can make it through it all. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Like a bird upon the wind, these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. Oh, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Yeah, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry.
Okay, thank you so much, Kirsten. Love that song. Great rendition of it too. Well, our senior minister, Reverend Dr. Sherry F. McQuarrie, has the day off to have a much needed rest for the weekend. But don't worry, we have a special treat for you today. Our guest speaker today is Reverend Jerry Troyer. He serves as board president of the affiliated New Thought Network, of which we are a member. He is also on the as staff minister at Ohm Center for Spiritual Living in the San Diego area. Beautiful area. Probably one of the most beautiful ones of Southern California for sure. He also works as director of relationship development for Urban Street Angels, serving homeless transition age youth, ages 18 to 25. He is the author of the acclaimed book, Coming Out to Ourselves, Admitting, Accepting, and Embracing Who We Truly Are. I'd love for you to welcome Reverend Jerry Troyer.
Good morning, dear ones, or good afternoon, or good evening, dear ones, if you're watching us online or later. It is a great joy and privilege to be with you today. So great to see those of you in this very room, full-bodied, rather than just the 2-inch block that we were used to on Zoom. It is so great to be back with you in person. And my thanks to Reverend Dr. Sherry for the opportunity to be with you. It was my intention to be with you. I would come in August and September, keeping in mind I come from San Diego, but it was my intention to get here just before it was 100 degrees. Looks like I didn't quite make it, but that's okay. So a great joy to be with you today. So as you may know, Reverend Dr. Sherry's theme for the month of April this is still April, right? Yeah, one more day, has been what happens, the great joy, the possibility when we show up. So I love having the opportunity to kind of bring this topic in for a landing this month. And my topic is, so I showed up, now what? My question for us is, what did we bring with us? So we showed up at church this morning, or we're showing up later when we're watching the recording. So what did we bring with us? Consider you. Consider you as the beloved. Consider you as the essence, expression, and experience of spirit. You showed up today in your wholeness. All of you, all of your joys and wonders and attributes and quirks and goofiness, all of this makes up for our wholeness, our being the beloved. That's the truth of us in every moment and every day. We bring our past, because we do. whether it was good or bad and how we judged it. We bring our past, our joys, our wonders, our traumas, our stories, all of that we carry with us. Our amazing wisdom, our amazing talent. There are things that you know that you can do that no one else knows and no one else can do because your story and your experiences are absolutely unique. We brought our beliefs this morning, all the stuff, to use a purely spiritual term, all the stuff. Remember in the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, he talks about the domestication and how when we were born, we had no idea. We're just, okay, I'm here, I'm hungry, I'm wet, I need attention, whatever. And then as we go along, we were taught how life works and what's true and what's not and what the rules are and all of those things. And so we bring all of that with us into this moment. We were taught, so this morning we brought our beliefs about who God is. And I love to remind myself that periodically it's important to just check in and who is this higher power, and what is this higher power? Is it the loving, nurturing presence that Jesus talked about in the New Testament that always responds to us as we believe? Or do we kind of slip back into the Old Testament and consider God out there somewhere as the hateful, surly, cranky, white, straight old man on a cloud someplace? If you come from a traditional Christianity, you might remember that teaching that God is out there somewhere and we're working, trying to get back to him, versus this loving, nurturing presence that always responds to us as we believe. Why does it matter? Well, because it's done unto us as we believe. You know, the foundation of our teaching is that it's done unto us, that life responds to us, life with a capital L, always responds to us as we believe. So if we believe we don't deserve it, if we believe we've used up our limit of good for the month, then that demonstration, that answered prayer is not going to happen for us as we want it to. We showed up this morning with our traumas. The last 3 years, it's been pretty amazing. Who would have dreamed? Who would have dreamed that we would have such experiences? That so many of our dear ones made their transition during this time, and we might not have had the opportunity to be with them. My mother made her transition the beginning of last year, and the hospital called and said, well, you can come if you want to, but we'll have to put you in a hazmat suit with a mask and all the rest of that. And I said, you know, I am holding her in love and light, and I know she's okay to go on to her next experience. But I missed that, being able to say the physical goodbye. We missed weddings and memorial services and trips and just all of those things. We missed getting together on Sunday because in person, because we just weren't able to. So we bring the memories of those. We showed up this morning with our grief and our loss. It's been my experience that we humans, at least in the West, don't know how to deal with death. We don't say the D word. We say they made their transition or they've gone on to their next experience or whatever, and we don't know what to do and we don't know what to say. We don't know what to think. In this teaching, we come positive. We try to stay positive, and we remind ourselves that everything is in perfect order. Everything is as it should be. It's all good. And I'm sure you've heard those statements before. Everything is in divine order, and everything is in divine order. But if we don't allow ourselves to feel the grief and the loss and the hurt, they can come out in surprising and wonderful ways. Many of you know my experience of my husband Jerry dying in the airport in Houston on the way home from the Anson conference in 2018. He had been diagnosed with colorectal cancer, and so he was getting weaker and thinner and thinner and weaker, and wasn't sure that he wanted to make the trip, but I believe at some level he knew that time was close and he didn't want to die at home without me. And so we made the trip. He was very weak. On the way home in the layover in the Houston airport, his heart stopped and they were able to revive him, but going to the hospital from the airport, his heart stopped again and they weren't able to revive him. And so I came home the next day to the empty house with 4 suitcases instead of 2, left his body in Houston to arrange for cremation and then shipment home. And if you've ever had that experience of someone dying in a different state from where they live, you know that it can be an interesting experience. But I got home and I sat down and I started to grieve. And my ego said, no, you're a religious science minister. Everything is in divine order. Everything is as it should be. It's all good. And it was, and it was, and it was. But my heart was breaking. So the workshop we're going to explore together after the service this morning gives us permission to feel our grief, to feel our loss, to feel our disappointment, rather than covering it up with what is often called toxic positivity and spiritual bypass. Because we spiritual beings having a human experience carry our grief with us and carry our loss with us and carry our anger with us. And it comes out in road rage and in, I was saving the rest of that pizza for tomorrow. Who ate it? Oops, I did. Or the pint of Ben and Jerry's that you were going to save for tomorrow night, keeping in mind that Ben and Jerry's doesn't keep so well. So once you open it, you really should just go ahead and eat it. But these unexpressed emotions can come out in the strangest ways, unless and until we allow ourselves to feel it. One of my favorite authors, Debbie Ford, who we heard from earlier, said, what we can't be with won't let us be. So we can allow ourselves to feel that grief, to feel that loss, so that we begin to heal it and move forward. Because we showed up with that this morning, whether we recognize it or not. Change. Some wise person, not me, once said, change is good. You start. Because even in a situation that's not our favorite, even in a situation that is not necessarily wonderful, if something changes, it can be scary. It can be heartbreaking. And how important it is for us to show up with that and to recognize the feelings that we're feeling. We showed up with our regrets this morning and our resentments. We might not look at them, and that's okay, but they're there. Our regrets for what we did or didn't do, our resentments for what somebody else did or didn't do. And so there's always the opportunity for forgiveness. I have to admit to you that my view of forgiveness has changed rather dramatically over the last little while. And if you choose to get my book this morning and read it, you'll see that I came from the magic wand version of forgiveness. Oh, okay, I forgive you. Well, if somebody's on the 101 and you're running behind and they're doing 50 miles an hour in the left lane, at some point later this afternoon, you might be able to forgive them. But there are other things that have happened to us, maybe in our childhood, or maybe in a relationship, or maybe in a situation that we can't just wave the magic wand and forgive, that we have to allow ourselves to go through the process. So as we show up, we can recognize what we believe about everything we've talked about and more, and decide, is this still true for me? Does this still make sense for me? Or do I need to change what I believe about this? We showed up as loving, and I love that song that I think that Reverend Dr. Sherry wrote that we just sang. I love that. We showed up as loving and nurturing and patient and compassionate and joyful and peaceful. We also showed up as hateful and surly and cranky and impatient, because we did. I certainly did. Don't tell anybody. Everybody thinks I'm charming and sparkling, and you are too, but we are that as well. If you've ever read anything written by Debbie Ford again or Carl Jung, they talk about the shadow. And this that we portray to the world is wonderful and patient and loving and nurturing and compassionate. And I am that. And I'm also impatient and hateful and all those other things, because that's who we are. We just in every moment show up and choose which am I going to share? Which am I going to express? Ideally, more one than the other. Ideally, more the loving, nurturing, patient rather than the other one. But we showed up this morning with all of that. All of that. Each of us showed up this morning with amazing wisdom and experiences that no one else has. My second book, that is 80% done, and please know with me that the next time I see you, and I'm scheduled to be with you at the end of October, please know with me that this book is done and printed. But it's about, thank you for that. So, but it's going to be about finding purpose and finding joy in life after 50. Because when we get to a certain age, we might think, and society might think, well, you know, when you get to be, and let me just say that I'm a little over 50, but that's a nice round number, so we'll go with that. But your life is over and you just need to go and sit on a corner. Nonsense. Nonsense. We come with this wisdom. We come with this experience. That's how we showed up today, and how important it is for us to recognize that and allow ourselves to use it. We showed up this morning with the opportunity to be consciously conscious, to be aware of all of these things. I love our teaching because it reminds me to be fully present. When something happens, when somebody says something, when somebody does something or doesn't do something, why does this upset me so much? Why does this bother me? What button did this push? And does this still work for me? Does this belief still work for me? This domestication, remember, that we talked about earlier? Or can I change what I believe about it and take the fire out of the situation? I am convinced that life with a capital L has a sense of humor, because growing up, one of my father's big rules was you get there on time or early. So you're driving, go sit in the parking lot, in the back of the parking lot, listen to the radio or play on your phone. There were no phones like that back then, but do something to amuse yourself and then show up at the front desk 10 minutes early. Because if you're late, you are disrespectful, immature. And if you were late this morning, I'm not talking to you, so no, there's nothing personal here. Get that out of the way. But you are disrespectful, immature, you're not valuing the other person's time, so on and so on. So he really drilled this home, and so I'm always early. And that works for me, and that's okay. I'm an hour and a half to 2 hours early at the airport. It just is what it is. I get a coffee, I read a book, play on my phone, or whatever. Life, I'm convinced, has a sense of humor because not everyone has the same rules that we do. And so my husband, who is also Jerry, did not have such rules. And so he showed up right at the top of the hour. So it's a 10 o'clock gig and we're there 10 or so. We got to go in a minute, dear. In a minute, dear. I am very thrilled to tell you that I have an amazing new relationship. He's just so wonderful and so adorable and so awesome. And he has absolutely no rules related to being on time. And I got to tell you that the first time and the second time and the third time, okay, so what does this mean? He doesn't love me. He doesn't respect me. He doesn't care about me. All of those other things, that our ego would tell us. Finally, the still small voice got a word in edgewise and said, so what does it really mean that when he's 20 minutes late? It means that he's 20 minutes late. The teachings of Abraham, remember, talk about just looking for a thought that feels better. Because I don't know what he's feeling. I don't know what he's believing. I don't believe that he's disrespectful or doesn't love me. I believe that the reason that he's 20 minutes late is he's 20 minutes late. That feels so much better than that rule that I had. So when we show up consciously, it allows us to see why and feel why we're reacting that way, what we believe about it, and is there a way to change that into, a thought and a belief that feels better? When we show up, we can allow ourselves to recognize if we're living by design. It's a new day with new possibilities and I'm doing differently today, or default. Yeah, yes, I've believed that. Yes, I've done that. Yes, I've gone there. Yes, I've believed that. And just one again and again and again. Because there's always the possibility for us to have, and you might have heard this before, a new thought. That's why we call this new thought, is because we can have a new thought about that belief, about relationships, about life as a struggle, about money, about our physical health, about all of those things, and decide, is that still true for me, or am I ready for a new thought and for something else? But we have to be consciously conscious. We have to be aware of what we believe so that we can change our minds. If we live in default, we might just go along to get along. Versus the sacred yes and the sacred no. Can we say no? Thank you. Good answer. Good answer. It's so important for us to allow ourselves to say, yes, I just really want to do that. That's so much fun. I want to do that. Yes. Thanks. So yes. The sacred no is, geez, thanks so much for thinking of me. I really appreciate that, but that's not mine to do. And it's okay. Because I don't know about you, but my experience has been that if I say yes when I want to say no, I regret that I said that and will regret that all the way through, however long it takes me to do whatever that is that I didn't want to do. And oh, by the way, I'm going to regret that I said yes, and then I'm going to resent you for even having the gall to ask me because you knew I was going to say yes. So if we take that holy instant and decide what's ours to do and not to do, when we show up and are in the present moment, then we avoid all of that nonsense. What do we believe about ourselves? Are we the beloved? Are we the essence, expression, and experience of spirit? Are we part of and one with this loving, nurturing presence? Or are we a mistake that are still trying to work our way back to the holy city? And what do we say about ourselves? One of my favorite quotes from Scientific Christian Mental Practice by Emma Curtis Hopkins. Right near at our hand is the heavenly city. While we have called it distant, could we expect it to be near? Right here, visible to us, is the heavenly land. Could we expect it to show us its beauties if we talked of it being invisible? Right now, you are wise and immortal, free, strong, and at peace. Can you expect to feel your true nature and delight in your estate if you keep talking and thinking of how little you know, how mortal flesh and blood are, and how unhappy you are? We are the arbiters of our own destiny. Spirit is truthful and takes us at our word. Spirit brings its fountains of power to all words of I am and I will. So what do we say about ourselves? What do we believe about ourselves? Do we stay stuck in, and the term is destination anxiety? I'll be successful as soon as, I'll be happy as soon as, I'll be at peace as soon as I get the college degree, I get the new job, I get the new relationship, I get out of the old relationship. Whatever it is, do we postpone that feeling of success and of being enough until some future date? Or do we recognize that right now, in this moment, as we show up consciously, we recognize that we are the beloved? So we allow ourselves, when we show up, we allow ourselves to recognize why this is bugging me so much and make the necessary changes. The recovery community uses the acronym HALT. Don't make decisions. Don't make a phone call. Don't respond to the text if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Have you ever done that? Just there's a situation and you respond to something or you call somebody and you look back later that day or the next day and say, why in the world did I get so upset about that? Well, I was hungry or angry or lonely or tired, quite possibly. When we show up consciously conscious, we can decide what's true for us and what's not, because we carry all this with us. So I'd love it if you'd stay and be with me after the service this morning. It's 11, we'll go 11:45 to 1:15. So about an hour and a half in this nice, cool place, and talk about this experience of grief and of loss. I love to talk about in this teaching what we don't talk about. We don't talk about this. We don't talk about forgiveness as a process. We don't talk about a lot of these things. We just carry it with us and keep it hidden somehow. But again, what we can't be with won't let us be. So with that in mind, join me in the light for just a moment. So in the peace and the quiet of this moment, staying in this consciousness of oneness, we allow ourselves to be reminded that we are the beloved, that we are the essence, expression, and experience of Spirit. And moving forward in this day and throughout this week, we allow ourselves to show up, to live out loud, to recognize the wisdom and the experience and the joy and the passion that we brought with us into this moment, and act accordingly, to say yes when it's ours to do, to say no when it's not ours to do, recognizing that in every moment, in every situation, in all possible experience, we never walk alone. So for this beloved spiritual community, for this gorgeous day, for the opportunity to be together, we give great thanks. And together we say, and so it is.
Look into the windows of my mind. Reflections of the fears I know I left behind. I step out of the ordinary. I can feel my soul ascending. I'm on my way, can't stop me now. You can do the same, yeah. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? You could be so many people if you make that break for freedom. What have you done today to make me feel proud? Still so many answers I don't know. There are so many answers. Realize that to question is how we grow. So I step out of the ordinary. I can see my soul ascending. I'm on my way, can't stop it now. You can do the same, yeah. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? You could be so many people if you make that break for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Yeah, do it today. Yeah, do it today. I can feel my spirit rise and change. Yeah, we need to change. Yeah, do it today. I can feel my spirit rising. Oh, what have you done today to make you feel proud? And never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Oh, you could be so many people if you make that break for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud?
Kirsten, love the power. Love it. Great song. Thank you. Thank you. I could be so many people today, couldn't I? Yeah. So, this is the time that we participate in our conscious giving. We experience the giving and taking, or not the giving and the receiving of our energy of conscious giving today. Phew. I need to ground myself just a moment. Got my heart going with that song. Ah, so, if you're online, you can use the donation button on our website or on Facebook and YouTube. We also have a Facebook page that has the link there. We also have PayPal as well too. And you can use your phone to text to give, whether you're online or in person. And that number for text to giving is 844 941 4360. For people in person here today, we do have ushers that are going to come forward and collect your giving at this moment while we sing I trust in God that will be led by Kirsten.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender, I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I trust in God. I trust in God. I trust in God.
I did want to mention, I forgot to mention that CLF is a tithing church. And for everything that we receive, we tithe 10% to local nonprofit communities or organizations that are truly making a difference in the lives of real people. For our first quarter tithe, we gave our tithing to New Leaf. New Leaf provides life-changing service to address urgent community needs. So thank you for your giving because it allows us to also extend that out into the world. And I'm going to call the ushers forward now to say our offering blessing, which you will find on the screen. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God. And so it is. And thank you, Beverly, and also Janet, for your service today. And now it's time for me to call up Nicole to give you our announcements.
Good morning, everybody. And thank you, Reverend Jerry. It is so awesome to have you here in person, man. It's just yeah. He supported us a lot during the pandemic with doing online talks as guest speakers. So I'm basking in your energy. It's so great. Okay. So I forgot my remote. So Cindy, will you follow along with me? Okay, good. So just a reminder of our announcements. We're going to go pretty quick today. We have our midday meditations Monday through Friday at noon through our Facebook and YouTube live streams. Please do your spiritual practice however you're going to do it, but this is an opportunity you have to do it with us. And it's great if you can be with us at noon, but if not, it's the internet. It's always there. So if it's in your schedule, if it's in your schedule. We also have our pre-service meditation here at 9:30 a.m. on Sundays. So thank you again, Fran, for that wonderful meditation today. And then we mustn't forget about Monday practice with Reverend Jorge at 6:30 on, you guessed it, Monday. Get your spiritual assignment for the week from Reverend Jorge based on Sunday's talk. It's a great way to try a bunch of different spiritual practices to find out what fits for you. And then we have our community care and connection Zoom meeting with Reverend Sherry on Tuesday night at 6:30. And this week they will be doing a conscious conversation. So please join her and check in, ask questions, bring whatever's on your mind and heart to the plate and find out how spiritual practices can help you with those or celebrate them to issue either. Okay. Did anybody talk about breathing today? Reverend Sherry's not here, and she's always our reminder to breathe. So I'm going to breathe. Bring whatever's on your mind and heart to celebrate or even to help figure out how to process it with the spiritual mind practices. Then well, I don't really have much to say about the workshop because he's been talking about it today. So if you haven't already signed up for the workshop at 11:45, you have plenty of time to do it now and then be here at 11:45 and do this amazing workshop with Reverend Jerry. And then after service, if you're not going to do that, you can go to fellowship. Oh, no, you can't. There is no fellowship today because Fran, who would be hosting it, is going to be at the workshop. So fellowship here in the workshop. And then we also have our practitioners available to you right immediately after service. And if you don't want to do that, we have a prayer box out on the table where you can do a written request, and practitioners will pray on that prayer request for 30 days. Or you can send an email to prayer@creativelivingfellowship.com. And then Deb was talking about the quarterly tithe. We are looking for a quarterly tithe recipient for second quarter. So please go to our website. There is a tab that says tithe recipient on it. Click on that and fill out the form and let us know of a nonprofit you would like us to tithe to for the second quarter. Check our website and our newsletter for any of the links or more information. Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to say, Reverend Jerry, thank you so much for your talk. In New Thought, it can be confusing. Just like you said, it can be confusing because I'm here having this human experience that has all kinds of emotions. And I hear, like you said, everything's divine, everything's in order. Yeah, and man, sometimes it just isn't pleasant. So thank you for reminding us that that's part of being in this life. And stay and delve deeper into how you can work with that and how you can be with that in the workshop. So thank you so much for being here. Our pleasure too. Yes, yes, yes. I just want to remind you if you have a couple of things, connect with each other throughout the week. Make sure that you're reaching out to people that you love, people that maybe you don't see very often, and let them know that you care. That's what keeps this flow of unconditional love going. And that's what changes everything in our life and in the world. So we encourage you to stay connected with each other and invite people to come and join us on Sundays. Maybe people who are like minded or people who are seeking for a new path or a truthful path. We encourage you to invite them here. Um, the treatment for supply is our community prayer. It is an all encompassing prayer that can be found in the Science of Mind textbook. But if you don't have the book or you want one to hold in your hand, a prayer in your hand, we have copies printed out on the table out front. And I just wanted to say to you, to the second timers that have come back, if you aren't on our mailing list and would like to be, if you sign the first time, even though you're not a first time guest list out there, then you can start receiving our mailings every week of what's going on and invitations and special things. So we're really pleased to have you come back with us. Okay, I believe that's it. Other than reminder of practitioners for prayer, we have Reverend Mary Jane and Fran Peck for prayer. You don't need to walk around with a heavy heart. So take advantage of that. That's what they're here for. Now, if you would please stand and join me for our affirmation, and then following that, I will lead you in our closing song of Let There Be Peace. Something wonderful is happening in my life right now. I know it, I sense it, I feel it, and I thank God for it. Thank you, God. And so it is. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Thank you. Thank you. God bless. To stay for the workshop and you're hungry, you can get food at the cafe area, not cafe area.